In this video, we're going to talk about how to solve a literal equation. And a literal equation is kind of just like a formula. A lot of times in Math 1 or Algebra 1, we are rearranging equations for y so that we can graph a line. So this first example is how we would get y alone. So the first thing I'm going to do is identify where y is. It's right here. And so I'm looking to get that y by itself. So I'm going to first move the 2x from both sides by taking it away. It is a positive 2x, so subtracting it cancels it out. I now have negative 3y is equal to, and I'm going to put the negative 2x in front of the negative 9. So I just keep their signs the same and move them around. I now need to get rid of that negative 3 in the front of y. It is multiplying y, so we would divide by negative 3. And this is where people get stuck. All right, so y is officially by itself. We need to, see if I can zoom in a little bit. We need to divide both this negative 2 by the negative 3 and the negative 9 by the negative 3. Both of those numbers are getting divided. Negative 2 divided by negative 3 is just positive 2/3 because the negatives cancel out and 2/3 cannot be reduced. Negative 9 divided by negative 3 is a negative divided by a negative, which is a positive, and 9 divided by 3 is 3, and we have officially solved this equation for y. So we are done. All right, the next one, a little bit weirder. We are solving for b. They are all letters, and this is okay. We use the same operations as if there were numbers here. All of the top, the whole numerator, is being divided by the d. And so in order to make it go away, I'm going to multiply by d. And the dividing by d and multiplying by d cancels out. So now on the left-hand side, let me switch colors. I'm going to have a times d. I can just write it as ad. You could put the dot between it. You could write it dA, doesn't matter. And then I have b minus c. I want b alone, and so I'm going to get rid of the minus c by adding c to both sides. And now I have AD plus C is equal to B. You could rewrite this to be B equals AD plus C. You could flip-flop their sides, but that's not important. All right, number 3. We are solving for B again. And so this time, the only thing bothering B over here, we want this B alone, is that positive 3A. So I'm going to take 3a away from both sides. And when I do that, b is alone now. So that went away. And I have negative, whoopsie, my screen keeps zooming in and out. Negative 3a minus 8. Again, you are done, but you could rewrite it as b equals negative 3a minus 8. That way, you can also write it as negative 8 minus 3a. All of these things are the same. They are all correct. I'm just keeping the sign in front of the number. All right, a little bit harder, but also a common one we see is when we are rearranging the area of a circle to solve for r. So I have the formula for the area of a circle here, area equals pi r squared, and I want to get this r by itself. So r is currently being impacted by the pi symbol and the squared symbol. Only r is being squared, so I'm going to first move this pi by dividing by pi. That cancels out pi on that side. I now have r squared, or r to the second power, and I have a over pi. I'm just leaving it like that. The inverse operation for squaring is square rooting, so I'm going to square root this side and square root this side. And I now have, and we can even rewrite the r over here if we'd like to, r equals the square root of a over pi. And that is the answer. So we're just rearranging the formula. We're not solving for a value. All right, another common example of a literal equation is changing from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So the current formula is how to get Celsius when you have Fahrenheit. Maybe we want to get Fahrenheit alone if we had Celsius. What I'm going to do here is instead of distributing by 5/9, which you're allowed to do, I am going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So to get rid of 5/9, instead of just dividing by 5/9, I'm essentially going to do the same thing, but I'm going to multiply by 9/5 because that will cancel out 5/9. And now I have 9/5 C equals f minus 32. And in order to get f alone, we need to do the opposite of minus 32, which is plus 32. And now we can write it as f is equal to 9 over 5c plus 32. And this would be my final answer. So in all of these 5 examples, I am just rearranging equations using inverse operations the same way we would solve an equation, but we're just left with a formula that's been rearranged. Hope this helps.